Welcome back to the shop, my friends. Today we're going to be working on a set of napkin rings at the forge. Disregard my little battle wound there. I lost a fight with a bench grinder yesterday. These things happen. To get us started here, let's get into the journal. For any aspiring blacksmiths, woodworkers, really anybody who wants to work with their hands, I recommend you open something like this. I found this on Amazon recently and just started working with it. It's really made my process quite more streamlined. Got a table of contents here, got a few things written down. I can draw out designs. I'm not an artist, don't look. Let's get over here. So we're gonna be working on some napkin rings. And of course I've left myself really no notes at all. This is not the best example. However, it does tell me in my bill of materials that I want 6 inches of 3/8 round or 3/8 square. So we'll start there. 6-inch pieces. Just to verify, I did cut them correctly. Isn't that nice? So we're gonna start with these. This is enough for 2 sets. The end result will be something like this. It's designed to hold a fabric napkin. I sell them in sets of 4. They've been pretty popular, I'd say, at some of the shows we've been to. I got a bunch of shows starting in March, and therefore I need more. So let's get over to the forge, get some of these heated up, and I'll show you the process. So we ended up with something a bit like this. We took that 3/8 bar And we took this down to about 1/4 of an inch. We're not going for perfection here. We kind of like that rough forged look, but we're looking at about 1/4 of an inch thick from 3/8 where it started. So a little bit more than half of the original starting thickness. And we tapered an end in opposite directions, if that makes sense. So we have one sort of slanting this way and one slanting this way, which will make sense later, I promise. So now that we got one of these done, let's get back over to the forge and do the rest of the set. Now we have 4. This will make the whole set. Again, we're not going for perfection here. I love intentionally leaving hammer marks in my work to where it looks intentional. You don't want to leave hammer marks that aren't supposed to be hammer marks, but if you can do it in an artistic way, I think it really adds something to something hand forged. It really gives it some legitimacy. So now that we have these 4, what we have to do is take the opposite ends where they are opposing, and we're going to curl them in opposing directions. In that time, we're also going to address the tips, make sure they match, and I'll be back to you when we get that done. All right, so now we're left with a whole set of these little guys. So at this point, we're almost done. We're gonna touch mark the center before we do the final fold, because otherwise it's gonna be impossible to touch mark, and we wanna leave our mark on these things. And then we're gonna take it to our swage block, and we're gonna fold this over on itself to give it that nice little spiral. So let's go do it. the twist that you saw me perform to turn this into this spiral design has these points basically in line with each other, so that they'll sit sort of hugging the napkin, so to speak. It really depends on your personal preference. There's a number of ways to do the twist with that same size stock. You end up with probably about 8.5, 9 inches of length, and I'm using a 1-inch bar for that center post, so you got quite a bit of leeway to play with. In fact, I'll show you one other way to do that same twist here. And there you have it, from that 3/8 bar to napkin rings. In terms of finishing techniques, you have a bunch of different options, of course. I use beeswax on everything that I forge. You can leave it sort of rustic, where you just brush it down with a wire brush to get some of the forge scale off, heat it, wax it, gets kind of a black finish, a dark finish. These, of course, have not been brushed or waxed at all. These two I hit with the wire wheel on my grinder, and you remove the forge scale and any leftover mill scale, and then I heat these at a lower temperature, just enough to melt the wax, and that ends up giving it much more shine. I think it's a more professional look, but some people really want that rustic look of just brush and wax. I do plan on putting out a video on various finishing techniques for some of this more decorative stuff in the future. If you'd like to see that, stay tuned. And yeah, let me know. This is my first video, feature-length video, I should say, on the forge process. If there's anything you have to suggest to make these videos better, if there's something you'd like to see, let me know. Drop it below, and I'll see you guys next time.